both of you. I would love to get your takeaway from the latest poll numbers and who should be more encouraged, Democrats and Republicans. And before that, I want the control room to put up element 2. This shows that 61% of the folks polled say they disapprove of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe. Next, element 4. This one shows who voters think would be better in handling immigration and border security. That would be Republicans, 56%. And then elements, where did it go? Element 7. Donald Trump's favorability rating is now at 34%, which is, and it's element 7, which is down a couple notches from where it was before at 36%. So given all of that, Rachel, you go first. Who should be more encouraged?
First, I just got to respond. I mean, I know somebody, a certain New Hampshire Senate nominee for the Republican Party, got a phone call from a certain somebody else who said, if you want any money for that race, you better get off this election denier train. So that was really funny to watch that capitulation. I have no doubt that that was resource motivated. And what we're seeing in this polling data is exactly what we're seeing across the Republican Party. I mean, this timing for these immigration stunts is no accident. It is meant to distract. The issues that Democrats are leading on, freedom, abortion, health care, those are not things that Republicans want this midterm to be about. They want it to be about inflation because they can attack Biden without offering solutions to it. And they definitely want to talk about immigration. They have spent millions of dollars of Fox News padding trying to inflame people about immigration, and then to have it fall off the radar because of abortion has been strategically bad for them. Right. So I would expect them to do things that are cruel and inhuman to put immigration on the limelight, and we just need to really stay on message about abortion and about them stripping our fundamental liberty.
And so, Linda, I would love your reaction, but also to that point, what was Lindsey Graham doing by proposing this national ban? I mean, as a pollster, what he did, as a Democratic pollster, what he did must have had you dancing in your house.
It did. And abortion wasn't going away. Abortion has remained in part because of your previous guest. And what a great interview. Constant stories coming out of the impact on women, on doctors, on women with miscarriages, on women with crisis pregnancies, on young women, and politicians deciding that they can make decisions for people and interfere with their freedoms. But it wasn't going away. But thank God for Lindsey Graham, because he branded it as a national ban again. And in case there was any doubt about this being states' rights, which isn't very popular with people anyway, because people think I might move to another state or my daughter might be going to college in another state. He made it a national ban. But Jonathan, you didn't give my favorite number in the poll.
Oh, what is that?
Which was Joe Biden's job approval, 45%.
Let's put that
That's
up.
at the level where we get a boost now. And I think there are two things that clearly come out of the poll, and Rachel's such a great analyst. Enthusiasm. We're still a little down in enthusiasm. Thank goodness for the Republicans. They are doing more for ourselves than we can do for ourselves. And persuasion. And the Republican Party has deep, deep trouble